Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We are diving headfirst into the highly anticipated 2025 Moto3 season opener. The roar of those 250cc single-cylinder engines, the blazing heat, the incredible young talent fighting to prove themselves, it all kicked off at the Chang International Circuit in Buriram, Thailand. We've synthesized all the data and race reports to bring you the ultimate digest of the weekend.
Right off the bat, we've got to ask the biggest question of the weekend. Is there literally anyone who can stop Jose Antonio Rueda's momentum? We're going to see exactly how he took absolute control of this race, but to truly understand the dynamics of this chaotic weekend, we really need to start from the beginning. Okay, let's get right into Section 1, Thai GP qualifying results. Let's see how the grid shaped up during an incredibly intense Saturday session.
So, looking at the grid, level up MTA rider Matteo Bertelli absolutely crushed it. He snatched his very first maiden Moto3 pole position with a blistering lap time of 1:40.400. That is flying. Right on his heels in second was Stefano Neppa, with Jose Antonio Rueda in third, and Great Britain's Scott Ogden rounding out the top four. Bertelli showed incredible promise on Friday and completely delivered when the pressure was on.
But you know what the huge early storyline was? Honda. They came out swinging. Looking at the grid, Honda locked in 4 riders inside the top 9. You've got Nipa grabbing second, Luca Lunetta up there in 5th, David Almanza taking 7th, and Taio Furusato qualifying 9th. It basically set the stage for a massive manufacturer clash right from the get-go.
All right, moving on to Section 2, Survival in Extreme Heat. Because Sunday wasn't just a race, it was a brutal battle for survival.
Just look at this, 35 degrees Celsius out there. And guys, that's just the ambient air temperature. The track temperature was astronomical. You could probably fry an egg on the racing line. The Chang International Circuit was literally an oven. And that severe heat haze you'd see radiating off the tarmac wasn't just a visual distortion. It was a critical factor that completely altered every single team's strategy. This brilliantly illustrates the crazy dual threat the competitors faced. On one hand, you have the immense physical drain on the human body in that humid Thai weather. On the other, the extreme degradation of those series-specified Pirelli one-make tires. The soaring track temperatures caused grip levels to just nosedive. This meant that whoever won wouldn't just be the fastest rider, they'd have to be the smartest tire manager and the absolute most resilient athlete on the track.
Which brings us to Section 3, Heated Race Development. As the pack tightly funneled into Turn 1, the war of attrition officially began.
So, tracking the 19-lap race chronologically, things kicked off with a totally frantic hole shot on lap 1. By lap 9, they were pushing the absolute limits, with David Munoz laying down the fastest lap of the race at a 1:41.042. But as we hit the mid-race mark, that punishing heat and tire wear really started to show. Pure chaos, multiple crashes throughout the pack. By lap 19, however, it was a completely different story, with Jose Antonio Rueda putting on a strategic masterclass to break completely away from the madness. Now, what's really interesting and tragic about this race is the attrition rate. The track drama was just intense. Take Scott Ogden. He qualified beautifully in 4th, was hanging right there in the lead pack, and then suffered a gut-wrenching crash on the absolute last corner of the race. And Rusei Yamanaka, he was deep in contention for the podium before a painful crash took him completely out of the running. This Buriram heat honestly spared no one. Let's look at the payoff in Section 4, Final Race Results. After navigating the heat, the tires, and the crashes, one rider stood totally clear of the rest. Here is your podium for the 2025 Thai GP. Jose Antonio Rueda crosses the line to take a brilliant, completely dominant victory for Red Bull KTM Aho. And right behind him, his teammate, rookie Alvaro Carpa, making his full-time debut after winning the Junior GP and Rookies Cup, and he bags a phenomenal second place. Then, salvaging what was an incredibly tough race for Honda, Adrian Fernandez rounded out the podium in 3rd. Rueda's win, though, man, it was flawlessly executed. So the crucial point is, how did Rueda manage to be so dominant? Check out this quote from team manager Nicholas Ajo. He says, Rueda radically improved his mental focus and track efficiency this winter. It wasn't just raw speed out there, it was his newfound emotional control. He executed a perfect tire and physical management strategy, while the extreme environment literally forced his rivals into making mistakes. All right, let's wrap things up with Section 5, Point Ranking. Buriram has definitely set a fascinating tone for the early 2025 season. Looking at the team standings, the dominance is super clear. Red Bull KTM Ajo walks away from the opening round with a perfect 45 points, all thanks to that unbelievable 1-2 finish by Rueda and Carpe. Leopard Racing is sitting in second with 25 points, and SIC 58 Squadra Course holds third with 19 points. Red Bull KTM Ajo really just laid down a massive marker right out of the gate. And over in the constructor standings, KTM strikes the first decisive blow, with 25 points to Honda's 16. That KTM machinery handled the brutal Thai conditions flawlessly when it mattered the most. But hey, with Honda showing that strong qualifying pace and getting 4 bikes in the top 9, you know they're right there, ready to fight back.
Which leaves us with this final burning question. Is there anyone who can stop Rueda's momentum heading into round 2? As the sun sets on Buriram and the paddock packs up for the Argentina GP at Termas de Rio Hondo, the rest of the grid knows they've got a massive target to chase down. Was this just a perfect weekend for KTM Ajo, or are we witnessing the start of a truly dominant championship run? I guess we'll find out soon enough. Thanks so much for tuning in to this explainer, and keep your eyes on the track.